Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever applies to you. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Julia. I'm a contemporary singing specialist based in Australia, and today we are diving into a group that I have not listened to before but has been much requested from you guys: Blind Guardian, the BARD'S song, and Valhalla. We are going to be diving on into that right now. So let's get into it. Yay!
Den nehmen wir gerne mit. Ich würde euch auch noch gerne länger schreien lassen. Wir haben leider nur noch wenig Zeit. Die wollen wir natürlich mit Musik verbringen. Ich glaube, die meisten von euch werden wissen, was jetzt als nächstes kommt. War schon ums ein oder andere Mal legendär hier. Ich habe so das Gefühl, dass ihr dem heute die Krone aufsetzen werdet. Let's sing the Bard song in the forest. Now you all know the bards and their songs. When hours have gone by, I close my eyes. We may meet again, but the dawn of the night, let's sing the bard song.
Ooh. Okay, something I'm loving straight off the bat, that crowd interaction, the back and forth, the fact that he's willing to like let the crowd have their moment when he's singing the song. Because I mean, he's still singing most of it, but there are just those little moments where he pulls back and the crowd knows every single word and fills it in perfectly. I feel like there's so much life and connection from those kinds of moments where everybody is singing the same lyrics and you're all just a part of the same experience in that moment. So I really like that. I find it interesting listening to his speaking voice to his singing voice. There are a lot of similar colors and tones to his speaking voice. So even though there's a brightness to his tonality that might make you think that he's mixing, I actually just think that he is using a slightly widened pharynx in his speech register because we had some twang, we had some nasality. There's a very clear, strong tone. There's a little bit of vibrato to it. It's like really quick. It's there and then it's gone, which makes me think it's a very deliberate choice because he doesn't do it all the time. And I will probably speak more to choosing between a sliding connected tone and choice of vibrato later if it keeps happening. But at the moment, super clear tonality, fantastic storytelling, and how he's varying his dynamic at times. And then also ending that last phrase on something slightly more breathy. Like, I feel like we're gearing up for an awesome story or an adventure or something here. I'm getting lots of medieval vibes. I'm enjoying it thus far, and I can't wait to see how this is probably going to ramp up because I don't think we're going to have 12 minutes and 51 seconds of the exact same musical ideas throughout. You guys have referred me to music with a little bit more complexity than that. So we're going to keep going.
But the dawn of the night, let's sing the bard song. Wacken. But the bard songs will remain. Tomorrow will take it away. The fear of today, it will be gone into our magic songs.
Beautiful. So starting to get hints of a little bit more constriction, touch of grit coming through in there. We've got more of that belting setup now. He's put a little bit more power behind it. Same color though. So I feel like his natural tone already from his speaking voice into his singing voice, it does lend well for easier belting. So I'm not surprised that there's some similar color choices there because those are the color choices I generally advise people gun for. Twangy or a little bit nasalized, something that's going to carry that perceived volume and clarity through the mic without you necessarily having to create amplitude at the vocal fold level. Of course, you're going to make a big sound by amplifying through your vocal tract, but those two resonance choices are a good idea. And it's present in his sound throughout and allowing him to do a few little different things with the other parts of the sound. So, like the vowely part of the sound. Anyways, let us keep going.
There's only one song in my mind. Now the bad songs are over, and it's time to leave. Who tells the story? But the bad songs will remain. Tomorrow all will be known, and you're not alone. So don't be afraid of the dark and cold.
Whoa.
'Cause the bad
Whoa, okay. I need to go back for that. That was a ooh, we had intense constriction very quickly. Whoa. So before we dive into that and what is being indicated as a slightly more intense vocal experience later on, I just want to quickly discuss some of his phrasing choices because I'm really enjoying the storytelling that he's achieving through this phrasing. And sometimes I do bang on about phrasing and you might be wondering, what do you mean by phrasing? So phrasing can have intense moments, relaxed moments, ebb and flow, how you start the phrase, how you end the phrase, how you manipulate the rhythm of the phrase over the rhythm of the music that's happening underneath you. All of these choices, which are just to do with how you deliver the phrase, they impact your storytelling, regardless of whether you've got brilliant phrasing or whether you've got, it's average phrasing. The storytelling is probably not going to be quite as strong in the average phrasing as it is in the good phrasing because that good phrasing is going to build some tension, it's going to create more engagement. And one of the things that he's doing that's making his phrasing more engaging are being hesitant on some of the entries, which gives us a sudden swell in dynamics as he's going into the line. He's got these falling moments coming out of vibrato. So I don't know what any of the words, but I'll give you an example. If we were to go, ah, like we have the vibrato at the beginning, it little flutter, engagement, sliding down, and then continuing on the vowel. Ah. So ending with whatever sound you want it to be at the bottom there. That's an example of something else he's putting into his phrasing that I'm finding really interesting. And I did mention earlier that he has those moments of vibrato. He is really working those small moments with the vibrato, often falling out of it, and that is providing a beautiful contrast within his phrasing to long connected rising or falling tones. This is going to give him more variety with the dynamics, which again lends itself to good engagement, so long as, of course, those dynamic choices aren't like hectically like loud, soft, loud, soft, loud, soft, and for seemingly no reason. That's when you can run into some trouble with dynamics, or if you're loud all the time or soft all the time. Like we need that variation and it needs to be connected and make sense. That storytelling starts from the beginning of the phrase all the way to the end. And he is making those subtle choices like the vibrato, like the slurs and the glissandos that he has falling through. It's almost like a portamento actually. Let's keep going.
tomorrow all will be known, and you're not alone. So don't be afraid of the dark and cold, 'cause the bad songs will. You're fucking crazy! Wacken, ich trau's mich kaum zu sagen, ihr seid noch geiler als sonst! Wir oben hatten eine super Zeit. Wir sind immer gerne nach Wacken gekommen. Irgendwann ist es Zeit weiterzuziehen. Die Zeit ist jetzt gekommen. Wir sehen uns irgendwo. Let's get crazy for the last time. Let's lock up the gates of
Oh.
Valhalla!
Ooh. He's got so much more darkness coming through in his sound and this setup. It's like the approach that he took in the beginning in BARD'S song. But now there's a lot more breath pressure coming through. That pharynx is wider. He's got those darker tones coming through. He's got some distortion in the sound. Oh my goodness. So, if you're wondering how distortion is made, usually distortion can come from things moving around within the vocal track. But oh my goodness, going from that first sound, which is really melodic, there was movement to it, there was swell, there was that musicality through the phrases. He had the space in his sound for some great vibrato work. And now we're into something which is a lot more intense. His abs must be like, must be so switched on for this kind of sound because it is so much more powerful than what he was using in the beginning. I know the approach is different, the music is different, but it is amazing the differences you can get in someone's sound just from subtle changes in the pharynx as well as an increase in abdominal pressure and therefore breath pressure, that support really pushing that sound through. It's an excellent example of when you need a lighter form of support to maintain engagement throughout your beautiful melodious phrases, and then when you need that support because you are going for a powerful sound. So we're going to keep going. I want to see where this leads. He must have heard me talking about that contrast between the two sounds, something melodious and light and beautiful and connected and smooth and mew, 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 and then the power sound, because now we've got a direct contrast within this song. Thank you for the example. That is amazing. Oh, that's cool. Oh, this is cool. Oh. Oh, I keep banging on about his engagement, but he keeps giving me great examples of it. On that vowel just there. One of the things I'm noticing is that when he's going for those stronger, more powerful sounds, whether it's gritty or in this case where he was going for more of that powerful vowel setup, he is bailing on the consonant very quickly. And one of the reasons that he might be doing this is he wants to get to that shape as quickly as possible so he can put that breath pressure and support under it in order to really hit you with the strength of that vowel. So we're going to go back and re listen to that because he is varying all kinds of support, placement, and intensity in his sound in this performance. It's awesome. So that one was straight to vowel, so powerful from the onset. You cannot have vowels like that if the pressure underneath your instrument isn't adequate, because often that'll mean you'll start to squeeze from here. And if it overconstricts, forget about having the space needed to amplify. And then similar support under that in me at the bottom. I can't do it because I don't have the pharyngeal depth, okay? I just don't. Men, you have your pharynxes are bigger. Gentlemen, your pharynxes are deeper. What can I say? You're gonna get lower tones, but even as he's going down there, that support is not lifting even for a moment.
Sieht geil aus. Klingt geil. Ich finde, Magnus hat genug gearbeitet.
Before we go too far, I do want to go back and just re-listen to that high, shrieking belt that he did at the top there, because I want to have a guess at how he might be approaching that sound from listening to it again. Holy shamoly! Okay. He's on a G sharp 5. All right, mate. God. It's on a G sharp 5 and it is so metallic-y. It's almost actually got a shrieking quality to it. But gee whiz, he flippin' got up there, didn't he? My God. He's up there. He hits it twice, just by the way. He goes back for round 2 as he's up there. As a male vocalist, your larynx is high, your breath pressure's pretty darn high because your vocal folds are thin, but you don't want to overblow the folds because then they wind up not wanting to come together and you lose the note. His compression is high. In order to get those higher pingy frequencies up there, his pharynx is narrow. Let's just say that his pharynx is definitely narrowed in order to give him those vocal qualities. There's almost like there's going to be a little bit of a rattly sound in there, but I can't quite pick what that distortion is. I feel like we've gone from I feel like we've explored such a huge spectrum of different sounds from this lead vocalist. So we've got this shrieking G5, and then we had the low work at the bottom that had distortion in there. Let me know in the comments whether you've heard him sing those lows before without distortion. Is this something specifically that he does? Because there are times where we can sort of like force that lower sound because we want it to be that quality, but we want that fullness in the note, and then we might discover distortion on the way down there. So let me know in the comments below if that's a typical choice for this particular vocalist. But yeah, just the range, flippin' hell. Sure, let's just filter our harmonics through a narrowed pharynx so we get the strength in those upper partials so that we have this ridiculous high G sharp 5 screeching. I wouldn't even call it like a belt. It really does feel like just a powerful shriek up on that note, and he hits it twice. I need to stop. We're going back for this belt. Okay, so that final belt is the octave below that really high, powerful shriek that he just did before. Wow, 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 wow. Whew. I'd have to listen to more of him, but it sounds like he has access just for days. And that had some distortion also in it on that G sharp 4. Could be an A flat. I don't know what key we're in. Also, can I just say, I am loving the guitarist. His solo work, just everything from the BARD'S song to now, I just am very appreciative of a lot of the musical ideas that he's had. The energy that you get from his solos is just, I really like it.
Sieht geil aus. Klingt geil. Ich finde, Magnus hat genug gearbeitet. Wir können jetzt Frederik ins Spiel bringen. Dafür solltet ihr ein wenig lauter singen.
Okay, so that drummer was going crazy earlier. Major workout for him, being the backbone of the time in the song.
Mega. Die letzten 3. Jetzt noch. Take the
Wow. Alrighty. So, massive crowd participation at the end there again. Why not just rehash the hook over and over and over and over again? I mean, crowd participation, love the energy, love the connection there. Wow. All right. So, a few things that we explored in this particular song. Firstly, his choice of phrasing in the Bard's song was beautifully musical. The way in which he would sometimes slide into his entries and then come off that vibrato. Vibrato, which, by the way, was actually present at the end there, but it wasn't quite as fluttery as the Bard song. We had a little bit more fullness to the tone in his vibrato right at the end. And I think it's cool that he's able to put different kinds of weight into his vibrato. It makes it feel like it's a little bit more of a naturally occurring vibrato for him, regardless of what particular vocal tone he might be going for. Coming off of that, we had stacks of range that was demonstrated. That that high larynx, narrow pharynx, G sharp 5 flippin' power shriek. My God. I was not expecting it at all. It just like came out of nowhere. It kind of made me feel similar to when he put that higher distorted sound in the Bard song. It just kind of like popped out of nowhere and you're like, whoa. I do feel like musically, uh, the music in Valhalla was better suited for supporting that kind of like, oh wow, surprise kind of choice. Whereas in the Bard song, I wasn't expecting it, and I don't know if the music necessarily also I don't know if it clicked quite as much for me with him going to that, um, more almost like a belty scream that he did in, the Bard's song, just o on it was on, like, 1 or 2 notes or, it was a very small section, so it's not really a big deal. It was just very unexpected, even though he'd used a little bit of distortion in prior sections of the Bard's song. I don't quite know how that landed for me musically, but I really did feel like that G sharp 5 just you need to be reinvigorated with your energy. That shrieky G sharp 5 will definitely wake you up. Like, off we go. I like the variety of weight in his vocal choices. So I actually really appreciated being able to see the Bard song before Valhalla because it showed me where his more subtle choices might lead regarding musicality and phrasing. And so I really enjoyed being able to actually hear that because it gave me more of an insight into just how far he can take that because in Valhalla, he had those moments where he did go into that more nasalized, um, thinner twangy sound in specific parts of Valhalla. I don't think the subtle phrasing choices came across quite as much in Valhalla just because of the textures that are behind him. It's a much fuller musical texture that he's singing within. Some of the more subtle sounds may get lost within those textures. So I might have missed it. And honestly, that's perfectly fine because you still get that massive contrast between the darker, more distorted sounds and then the significantly lighter, twangy vocal approach. And that contrast is an excellent example if you're starting to talk about color choices, if you're starting to talk about how you might have to modify your breath pressure and support under certain sounds. Those fantastic open vowels that we had there. I saw another member of the band, I think he was one of the guitarists, I'd have to go back and check. Um, he was behind a mic as well, and I saw him actively singing throughout the choruses. So I would like to know what does he normally contribute as far as the vocal layering goes because I couldn't actually pick out a second vocal line in the mix. I mean, I could hear the crowd and I could hear the lead, but maybe I just couldn't pick out that second vocal line in the mix. Maybe I just need to go back and re-listen to it again. I was primarily focusing on the soloist sound and other elements of the music, but I couldn't quite pick his out. So does he normally do harmonies or does he sort of function in the same way that doubling might, where you want extra voices to lend more power to one specific part of the song? I'd really love it if you guys could let me know or suggest another song by them if you want me to react to more Blind Guardian. And also kudos to that chorus being really simple vocally because you can absolutely get a huge crowd of people, even people that don't necessarily know your music. They are going to be able to do that chorus by the end of this song. They will have learned the chorus and be able to sing and participate and just be within the musical wonderfulness, I suppose. Anyways, that is it for me today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this one. If you did, be sure to give it a like, click the subscribe button and the bell notification beside it for more just like this video. If you want to know when I upload, I tend to upload chaotically, so it is best to be subscribed so you know when a new video goes up. As usual, I hope you're staying safe. I hope you are staying healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye! God, my ear holes. Oh my God. Okay. Um, we're gonna need to keep going. I accidentally breezed past that belt at the end there, so we'll forward, forward. We will forward, forward. The G sharp 5 has scrambled my brain, guys. Okay.